Welcome to the Healer's Corner podcast with your hosts, Melissa Wiles and Maria Cerna.
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening.
Yay, we got Maria. We got both Marias back tonight. We got Crystal Maria and we got Healing Maria. But we figured we'd go live, give our friends a couple minutes to be notified that we are here while we chit chat and talk about putting things in such safe spaces that we can't find them later.
Pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Welcome.
Now I got to visit with both Marias over this weekend.
I know.
Hey, Melanie. Hello to your kittens. I know sometimes they sit and watch us.
Cats love this energy. Cats love crystal energy. Crazy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm very thankful that my kitty, he is not one of the jerks that knock shit off tables. So he leaves them alone. Thankfully, because some of them I would cry if they broke. But he does like it, and usually his perch spot is near where either my mesa or my crystal table is.
Yeah.
So even when he's sneaking, I have a table right now that I thought I had scattered haphazardly with a bunch of like different crystals and skulls to keep him from trying to get up into the window blind.
Uh-huh.
No. I find where his little paws shift things around so he can still get up there, but he doesn't knock it over. He just shifts.
That's good. That
to
is
get
so.
paws up
Yeah, it's
there.
a good kitty.
How sweet.
So I'm like, well,
That's so uncat-like.
he's a very good boy. He's a very, very
That's
good
so
boy.
sweet. Well, he loves you enormously.
Mm-hmm.
Enormously.
Chairs, like
Yeah.
my cat doesn't knock stuff off table, but he does sit on the stuff that I need, like books or clothes.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And Melanie's
Yeah.
got to hide hers where her kitties can't get at them.
Yeah, we have one customer that always comes and she's got like 18 cats and she's like, I got to put it in the bookcase behind closed doors. She's got glass bookcases so the cats can't get in there because
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
the cat. But when she meditates with them and sits with them, the cats will come and sit on her lap and purr. She says it's really cool. And I've seen cats do that. It's crazy. It's like even dogs, they know, they can feel,
Mm-hmm.
they feel the energy. They feel the
Mhm.
energy. And hopefully you all do too out there. So
I know I do. And that was one of the things that I had mentioned to you, Maria Celeste, over the weekend. Because one of the stones we're going to talk about tonight, white Moldavite, and we'll touch a little bit on the green Moldavite. But I had told you, like in the very, very beginnings of Moldavite, like I hated it because every time I touched it, I would get a sharp headache. And it got to the point, and Maria Cerna has seen me do this at the store, where if somebody wanted to see a piece out of the case, I would take the whole tray out so I wouldn't have to touch it and set it and be like, have at it. Not touching it. I do not need a headache for the rest of the day.
interesting.
And, then somebody once told me that it's like, it's because you need it and you're so blocked, the stone's trying to push through it. And I'm like, I don't know how true that is, but I'm like, we'll test it.
Sorry.
And so,
That's funny.
so I started carrying a little piece for a little bit of time, and either I built a tolerance and don't notice the headache, or that really was the issue where it needed to clear something, to where now I don't get the headache anymore touching it. Which it used to work in my favor, the headache, because I could easily pick up something and be like, that's fake because I don't have a headache. Now I have to get more scientific of like looking at the formation, looking for the bubbles, looking for all the things to make sure it is not Chinese grain glass that they're trying to pass.
Well, one of the things that to help you with that, it's funny, I almost called you Naisha. To help you with that is to, when you first pick up a stone, Melissa, if it's cold, it's real. The only one that isn't is amber. You have to burn amber, and amber has a distinct smell. And that's how you can know amber's real. But if you pick up stone, like when I first picked this up, it's
Mhm.
cold. Now I can warm it up. So you have to make sure you either pick it up in the morning or that nobody else has touched it. If it's cold, it's real because I
Okay.
can warm this up and then I'll put it back down and it goes to cold. It will go cold. Um, and that's really cool that you can tell it that way.
Okay.
Absolutely. And with pearls are going to get cold. But if you bite on a pearl and it's grimy, it's gritty, those are real pearls. If you
Oh,
cut, yeah. My mother actually let us do that on her real pearls. She said, "I'll show you how you can tell real." And you're not going to mark the pearl, but if you
okay.
just gently like put it on your teeth and it's gritty, it's real. If it's smooth, it's not.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah.
Here's
Oh.
some extra knowledge we didn't plan on, but that's why we love having you because there's always extra knowledge
Mhm.
that comes in the
Oh,
stones and
thank you.
stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I just the thing, I know I saw you over the weekend, and I was thinking, oh my God, we've known each other through so much of the last 16 years. It's crazy. We've done this for since 2023, but I think I got to know you in 2009 when we came up to the Cleveland area.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, before
which
I even officially took over Goddess Sealy, because I was going to the shows with my personal stuff and,
yeah,
so I met you at one of the lapidary shows, I think it was.
yeah. At well, the other thing. So today I actually had some body work done. So it's really important. Those people, those of you that are out there, is really to take care of this temple. And it really dawned on me when I was in the chamber this morning. It had nothing to do with crystals, but we are crystalline people. We got
Mhm.
crystals in our ears. There's actually
Mhm.
calcite in our ears. Is that not cool? There's
Oh, wow,
calcite.
that's cool.
There's calcite in our ears. Truly.
Oh.
So when you get out of balance and you lose your equilibrium, sometimes your crystal barely your crystal gets a little wacky. Yeah, it's really very cool. There's one doctor here in India. I'm not been to him. I haven't to, thank you God. This is not a request. That actually can adjust the crystal in the ear. However, the other
Mhm.
little bit of information, if you take our blood down to the smallest molecule, ooh, I don't have it. It's out. Um, it's in the warehouse. It's out in the warehouse. But it's a chart. If you take our blood to the smallest molecule atom, it's actually the same structure as quartz. Our
Oh.
blood, sacred geometry as that in quartz. And I was thinking about how magical the body is. When I was in the chamber and looking at the structures and how our body works together and the crystals that work with us because of the chemicals that are in our body, and it was going through the layers of the body, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then I went and had a massage, and it's just really important not only to understand to the health of the crystals, but really in terms of really taking care of the temple, whether you're using crystals to take care of the temple, but really to take care of the temple. And as I was thinking about the class tonight, I thought I just want to make you all aware of it's really important to do self-help and self-care, whether it's with crystals or just with massage or whatever it is that you might, some modality. That's very important. Very, very important to take personal time.
Mhm. Or you'll be forced to.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yes, you will be forced to, as we all know too well,
Mhm.
unfortunately.
Well, I know there's that saying that we are literally made of the same stuff that stars are because
Mhm.
of, the galactic formation or words are failing me, but like the Big Bang and how it spread out and formed, the planets, the comets, the star systems, and including us. So it makes sense for our molecular structure to be pretty close to, you know, quartz.
Yeah.
Um,
When people say that we're crystalline people, we're crystalline children, we are. Our molecular structure is that, and we forget that we're made in God's image. And today, as I was in the chamber and I was watching this, I don't know what she put on, but it was beautiful. And it was going through the layers of the body in a beautiful meditative state. And I thought, and then it showed the brain, and the brain lit up, and it would then light up the whole body. And I said, that to me at that moment in time we are God, and
Yeah.
I don't mean that in an egotistical way against the big God, but we're made in God's image. And I think it's time that we all wake up to realizing we're God within us and start acting like that. Because we came here to be the God light that created us.
Hmm.
And he
I
also
like
gave
the
us.
saying that, we are future ancestors, so act like it, And
Oh, I
and
like
then
that.
I joke and I'm like, well, if Rune ever decides to have children, no pressure. I'm not that mom. I'm like, where's my grandkids? But if he chooses to have children and I become that ancestor for passed down, I'm like, oh, let them be little smart asses because here I come. You better act right. Um,
Oh, that's way cool. I had not thought about that. The future ancestors.
yeah,
Um,
we are future ancestors. So it's kind of like act like it, which there's a lot behind that saying,
a lot,
it kind
a
of
lot.
makes you want to straighten up and be like, yeah, let me act a little better, because how are people going to remember me back as? We've just been kind of tangenting and BSing right now. I guess we should probably get on to the real topics
Sure.
here.
Yeah.
Um, but we touched a little bit about Moldavite, how to tell if it's real, since I don't get the headaches anymore.
Oh, I
Um,
was going to tell you what happened. Um, and that's interesting. You mentioned the headaches. If I can interrupt for a minute.
Mhm.
When I was in my office, this is because I used to do serious shit. Now, this is serious stuff, but don't get me wrong. I was a first vice president for Morgan Stanley, but somebody asked me about Moldavite in the office. So I brought this whole big bag of Moldavite incense to the office. Somebody wanted incense. So I just brought this whole bag and I put it on my credenza in my back. And about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm like, wow, where's this headache? And I said, okay, I need to go out. I need to get some water. I need to go get some fresh air. Thank God it was spring. I stood up from the credenza. I turned around to get my purse or whatever. And I went, oh, hi, Moldavite. That's the headache, because it was a huge stack of Moldavite. There was probably 30, 40 packets of Moldavite incense in there, and they all have Moldavite powder in them. Yeah, so Moldavite can stir up a headache. I don't normally get a headache with Moldavite, but that was a lot of Moldavite.
in one little spot in
Mhm.
on
Right behind me, literally probably a foot behind me, because if I push my chair back, I would turn into my credenza.
yes, Moldavite, and you are the first person to show me the white Moldavite. So Moldavite, I know the green, and doing research on the white. Here's one of my pieces that like I tell
Uh-huh.
Rune, like when I pass, do not just give things away
Oh,
or
no.
trust them. But really good at raising the vibration, connection with guides, other beings. But it's a hard acceleration. Um, and maybe that's why some of us will get those headaches if you're not already kind of up there. Now the white Maria, Celeste, because I'm like, oh yeah, we have to. Um, the white is gentler. And I know Maria Cerna, when you held a piece, you were like, oh, it's so much
Mhm.
nicer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So let me talk about white Moldavite. That is technically a name of it, white Moldavite, but technically, mineralogically, it is actually a calcite. And where this comes from, there's only one place that we know of where it comes from, and it's 900 miles into the desert, someplace in Arizona, that it actually is harvested off the ground, because what has happened is this was actually thrown from a volcano. And the closest volcano to this spot is 500 miles away. So if you understand how Moldavite came into the earth plane, this actually wound up in Arizona the same way, because it flew through the air. And these striations and what you get are very similar to the same striations that you get in the green Moldavite, because they both flew through the air. So they energetically have that same, like, okay, you want to go somewhere? We're going to carry you. And green Moldavite I always say, if you're going through hell and you want to keep going, just use Moldavite and green Moldavite. Green Moldavite. But if and I'll tell you some personal close healings with Moldavite, with the green Moldavite. The white Moldavite does the same thing. It will move you, but it is so much gentler. This is like It's like the little fairies and the seraphims and cherubs. This guy is like Archangel Michael. So depending on what kind of personality you are or what you're doing, and they're wonderful together. They really like each other. They absolutely love each other. And Moldavite will jump. So you need to be aware of where the Moldavite is. I have actually I went to get my necklace that I had on all weekend, and I don't know where it went, because they will leave. More so the green Moldavite. I have literally watched green Moldavite. I gifted a friend a piece years and years and years and years ago. I used Moldavite before I even sold crystals. And so I had this little like tea party for my women friends, and I gifted each person a piece of Moldavite. And literally, I'm saying goodbye to Brenda at the door, and she has it in her jacket pocket, and it literally jumped out onto the floor. And we both looked, and I said, "I know it does that. It does it. It doesn't want to be in your pocket. It wants to be close to your skin. Moldavite likes to be close to your skin." I personally used it. I was born and raised Roman Catholic, third order Dominican, ordained in the spiritualist church, yada, yada, yada. And I knew that I was stuck in my marriage, not this one, my previous one. And so I hung a piece of this on my bed to help me have the courage to do what I needed to do. And it will give you some serious dreams if you hang this by your bed, give you some serious insights into what you need to do, what you need to see. And it's not always easy, because it's not easy doing your internal work, but it's the most rewarding work you'll do. And green Moldavite will kick you into doing your internal work. So that's why you want to bring around a little white piece of white Moldavite to temper this little guy down. So I mean, if you want to go through hell really hard and really fast, green Moldavite will do it. And that's the kind of person I am. As I've been older, though, it's like, okay, where's the white Moldavite? When I was younger, like, do it and do it now. Let's get this over with. Welcome to green Moldavite. But if you're like, you go, I know I need to make a change, and I'm not real comfortable doing it, but I know I need to do it, then you can use white Moldavite. But if you get stuck, green Moldavite will really unstick you. And I actually love it, because I feel very protected when I wear green Moldavite in a very mystical, magical way, that to me, it's like my Superman stuff. I forget what it is that Superman used.
Kryptonite. Kryptonite.
This is like my kryptonite.
Weakened him. Kryptonite weakened him.
Oh, weaken him. Oh,
well, this doesn't weaken you, but it's like I just feel super protected with this in a very well, then you get into aliens and all that stuff, and but this to me connects us with that. And angels are aliens, and seraphims are aliens, and my spirit guides are aliens, and so this brings the whole spirit world to me to protect me. The only piece I ever intentionally that I ate, because I wanted the energy in my body, and as I'm eating it, I grew up in a medical family, and my dad's like in my head going, that's glass, and glass can cut you all the way through, and I'm like, nah, this won't hurt me. It was a tiny small little piece, because I wanted the energy in me. I think we talked last time about how to get this energy in you smarter than eating it. Please don't eat it. I am not recommending. I'm not recommending
the disclaimer.
Yes, the disclaimer. I'm not recommending you do it, because it technically is glass, but it's not just like glass. It's just. I truly believe this is a gift from God. They're all gifts from God, because they're all God made. But this is like not from here. This came off the top of a volcano, born out of fire. We're born out of fire. And you understand where fire comes from. Fire, the very first fire, came from the heavens. It was started by thunder and lightning. That's a gift from the heavens. And this is a gift from the fire gods. But these little stones, these are, so my dear friend, when I first was exposed to white Moldavite, I went into his shop. Well, it was in his room, and I was like, "What is that that's in the case?" And he said, "Those are the last 4 pieces I have." I said, "I want all 4." And he explained to me that, he has to go, and where he has to deal with bobcats, poison ivy, poison sumac, rattlesnakes, scorpions. And I'm like, "You go and get," he goes, "Yeah." And I'll go in for 2 weeks at a time. And he said he takes so much Benadryl that it really knocks him for a loop. But he goes in and harvests it. And I have, so I was like, "Okay, well, let me know when you get some more." And so I would buy like everything. He goes, "You can't buy it all." I'm going, "Yeah, I can." So I have lots and Melissa's got lots of white Moldavite, because it's you're not going to find it anywhere, many places, but it's very, very sweet. So if you want to do something like put it in your body, we may have touched upon this last month. It feels familiar to me. To put it in a glass, not a leaded glass, put that glass in a glass in water, in a bowl with water, and let it sit. Ideally, let it sit overnight in the full moon, and then you can drink the water in the second bowl. And that energetically is going to allow that energy to of the Moldavites to get into your body, or any stone that you want. And you can actually use it that way. But Moldavite I'm very near and dear to Moldavite. It really helped me. The dream that I had was it showed, it's really pretty wild if you understand dreams. And I was like, okay, I was Catholic, and the picket white fence and the marriage and the whole thing. And I'm like, well, but I knew it was either my life or his in terms of my health. And so I was like, okay, Moldavite, I need you out of my jewelry box. I need you hanging by my bed. And the dream that I had, it took me 3 days to really absorb the power of this dream. It showed a man and a woman, and the woman was younger than the man, and they were in a big car, and for some reason they were pulled over by the police. And so they were taken to the police station, and they were interrogated. And the police said, "You have to come with us." Talking to the women, "You have to come with us." And they interrogated the woman about the marriage and about being trapped and not being kind and why the man was over there. And you could feel the man's energy being really upset because they knew they were talking to the woman. And I was like, I mean, that was my husband and I was the one. They were asking all of these questions. This is in my dream. They were asking all of these questions, made me in my day reality realize the challenges that's not really, I was going to say the hell I was living in, but I didn't realize I was living that way. You live in denial, right? You're in denial and you want to get out of denial. This sweet little stone, it really is sweet because they work with us, but it's very powerful. And some people, that's not an easy thing to look at and say, "Oh my God, you've been trapped in this marriage." Because you have to look at yourself. And a lot of people don't want to look at the dark side of themselves. And there was that dark side. Thank you very much. Moldavite will show you the dark side to bring you to the light. And that's the beauty of Moldavite. And I love it. And I'm very grateful that Moldavite saved my life. And then white Moldavite came, and it's just very gentle, and it's loving, and it's kind. And it's like, it just soothes the edges of the green Moldavite and what it does. And it softens it. And they're just beautiful together or separate.
I think green Moldavite, well, not, I think, I know, due to social media trends in the last year or so, green Moldavite got kind of a bad rap in a way, in that
Really?
you should be afraid of it. It upheavals your life. Things are going to go, to shit in a handbasket. So we had this surge of people looking for it. And then almost immediately, the surge of people going, my life was ruined after. And I'm like, that stone cannot ruin your life unless you were so resistant of staying where you no longer needed to be. And I'm like, but no stone can ruin your life just because you energetically have it, you're working with it. I mean, I guess if you broke into Fort Knox and stole gold or something, if you want to talk about some sort of mineral ruining your life because you did something illegal and now you're caught with it.
Right.
But just to say, I'm going to work with some Moldavite, and then all of a sudden my life starts falling apart. It's not the stone. It's being shown what needs to be changed and refuse, like digging the heels in and, trying to stick with the devil, instead of, making that
Yeah.
transition and trying to explain that to people of like, the stone's not ruining your life. Your resistance to change and betterment is making you really uncomfortable right now.
Exactly. That's beautifully. I mean, it's perfectly said, Melissa. Perfectly said.
So, now we can be like, here's this white little,
Mhm.
little angel of a stone that's going to help get you there, but kind of guide you by the hand rather than standing behind you and like kicking you forward,
Yes. Yeah.
pushing you off the ledge. Like I like the mental image is like the green, like, have you seen the two little penguin memes where like the one penguin walks up and like pushes the other off the cliff into the water? Like green Moldavite is one that walks up and they're like, bam. So, and then here comes the white one. He's like, are you okay? So,
I'll have to see that. No, I haven't seen that.
yeah, it's hilarious. There's penguins do this all the time. They're adorable, but they're kind of jerks to one another, which is hilarious.
I think
Yeah.
penguins, when you look at a penguin, you have to know God has a sense of humor. Really.
The little waddling. And like, I don't know if all breeds of penguins do it, but penguins, like the male penguins, will like woo their little female partner with rocks, with little pebbles.
Oh.
I'm like, see, they get it. They get it. They're like, would you like my pretty walk and be my little penguin partner?
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
that's
like
how I got
otters.
Eric with my rocks. Maybe that's how I got Eric.
Right? Kathy's like, some of us needs that penguin, and
Yeah.
well,
If you need the penguin that pushes you, you've got the two Moldavites. And if you're not sure which one you want, use them energetically together because they like to work together and they complement each other. It's like yin and yang, male and female. It's just that you got the two beautiful energies that work together to give you the strength and the courage to do the changes that you need to do to put yourself back on the right path. And they will energetically do that for you. All of the stones are energetically work with you. And a lot of people go, ooh, I don't like it. And I'm like, that means you need it because you don't want to do the change that it's and it really, it's really, they go, oh, I don't like that stone. It's like, maybe you should read what it's about.
Yeah.
Maybe that will help you. Just to try and gently, they go, well, I don't like it. Well, why don't you read about it and see if something doesn't connect with you to help you understand what it is that stone. But they work with us and they love helping us and they want to put us on the right path. They're not ever going to put you on the wrong path. They want to get you to the right path. We're the ones that keep us from getting on the right path.
Yeah. We get too analytical and trapped in our mind and the outs and what ifs and shoulda, woulda, couldas. But the story there that you were starting to say about, I don't like it. And you're like, well, maybe you should work with it. It's like a perfect segue into Covelite. Because I know at your table this weekend, you had a customer at the table.
Oh.
And she was looking at Covelite.
No,
well, no, you had many, but this particular
no,
one. And I zeroed in with her because she talked about how she just got done doing some cancer treatment. And it was a type of skin cancer. And I'm thinking like, yeah, me too. And you started talking with her about the Covelite and how it helps energetically with it. And you were, showing her the bowl that you had of the bigger pieces. And she seemed really like, oh yeah. And she seemed so tuned in with it. and she was trying to pick one. Her son was standing next to her and literally talked her out of it. And I'm like, never before. I'm like, because I looked at you and I said, I know you're not supposed to judge your customers when they're at your table, but I'm like,
I remember
I
you.
so want to go yank him and be like, what are you doing? You know, and it's not even because it's a loss of a sale, because we're not in it to get, rich. But it's like she felt drawn to that, and analytically, she got talked out of it. And it took me, like, as I was driving to Mansfield after that, like, okay, so what in me is so aggravated that I'm still thinking about that? Like,
Well, this is what I'm getting is because you understand what Covelite does, and you understand your journey with the skin cancer, and you know her journey because she shared it with us. And here's something to help her. And her son basically said, no, you're not. His ego, his humanness, his shittiness, whatever it was, decided he needed to be more powerful than that stone at that moment. When yet, if you really understood what Covelite was going to do for her, which she energetically understood, and I can see who you're talking about now that you bring that whole story back up. Because I think she was working with Eric on that when you and I were talking, but when we talked a little bit. But Covelite, I have Covelite in my car. I have Covelite under my bed. I have Covelite in my bed. Well, there it is right there. Covelite and Covelite. Let me tell you some things about Covelite. First of all, it's very difficult to find because Covelite is an arsenic-based material. And then we're going to get into the whole mineralogical and the spiritual laws of the frequency and laws of vibration and all that in a minute. But Covelite is an arsenic-based material. And it requires a very, very special setup to cut it. Not so much tumbling yet, but when you get it cut in cabs, and the only person I ever knew of that cut cabs since passed away. Because if you are not properly ventilated and water, you need water and ventilation when you're cutting Covelite, because it's arsenic. And that arsenic is going to get in the air, and that arsenic is going to literally kill you. Now, once it's finished, when it's polished, and I've held raw Moldavite. I had a beautiful big piece of raw Moldavite for the longest time. And somebody wanted it, and I don't know where it went. I mean, they have it. They purchased it, and it was a beautiful, beautiful piece. Covelite, you can get Covelite in Colorado, and most of it comes from Peru. And literally, I will have to go on bended knee and ask these people. They don't put it out. They don't show it to you. I have to literally get down on bended knee and say, can I please have 5 bags? Can I please have 5 bags for my people? Because I know what it does, because I'm here 26 years later, and Covelite is like everywhere in my house. Can I please? And that's because not many people it's very dangerous to work with. It is not dangerous to hold it. It's not dangerous to put it in your pocket. It's not dangerous to keep it in your environment. That would be a dangerous stone to eat. That would be a dangerous stone to cut unless you have it properly. But because it's polished and finished, it's not. I mean, you can hold it, but you don't want to breathe that air in all the time, because it is arsenic. Now, if you understand what arsenic does, arsenic will kill you. What does it do to the cancer? It kills the cancer. And for years, for as long as I've done this business, I've always used Covelite, because Covelite was a stone that I was exposed to long before I was in this business. And it's just, and I still have the original piece. And it's really funny because when I was first diagnosed with cancer, about a month before, I went, my Covelite broke. And I thought that was really interesting, because it's a fairly hard mineral. And I thought that it cracked. And I used to wear it in a pendant, and it's not like it's going to crack on my neck. And I'm like, how did it crack? And then a month later, when I got back to the States, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I went, oh, thank you very much. You were doing your job. Because it opened itself up so that it could help pull the toxins out of my body and do that. And the nice thing about Covelite, because of the deep color, it will raise you spiritually to help you see what's going on if you choose to do that work. It's not easy doing your personal work. If you choose to do that work, Covelite will work with your throat chakra and your third eye to help you be able to communicate what it is that you need to help you heal through it. Because it is a stone that will raise your vibration as well. And it will also raise you spiritually and help you see the darkness in it. And if you study it, there's some beautiful chatoyancy in it. There's also pyrite in it. So as you grow spiritually, the pyrite will help keep you grounded so that you can grow spiritually. And I just can't say enough about Covelite.
No, and
Because I know what it's done. I know what it's done, not only for me, but for other people. And
Yeah.
if somebody does pass with cancer, one of the things people have come to me and said, I know that these people passed, but this Covelite gave them the chance, gave them the opportunity to accept their passing. So they were at peace with it. So because of the spiritual, it allows you to be at peace with that journey if you choose to pass that way.
Oh, good question, Donna. Says when the Covelite broke open, didn't it release the arsenic? It didn't hurt you, but why is that?
Okay, so it didn't release the arsenic. It exposed the arsenic, but it didn't release it. It's not like the arsenic came out of it. It's just it would be like, pretend this is the piece, and so a piece broke off, and it's not like it was liquid that came out. It was just a rough edge, and so I'm not licking it. I'm not putting it in my body. It's still on my body because I still wear that piece. That piece actually, I really don't wear it. It hangs on my bed. I got lots of stuff that hangs on my bedpost. It's one of the ones that hangs on my bedpost. But when I did used to wear it until I got other Covelite, this against my skin it wasn't enough. It was a small piece, and I was never afraid that arsenic would be like eating that little bit of arsenic is like, the seeds of an apple have arsenic in it. And the reason there's arsenic in it, but a lot of people eat the seeds of an apple, and we're still all here. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. And now you know why. Because when you eat an apple, you're supposed to eat the seeds with it because the seed has a little bit of arsenic in it, and that kills all the bad stuff in us. I'm not recommending you go eat a whole bunch of apple seeds. But the apple seeds actually, and the reason is it's God's natural protection against insects into the apples, which that's pretty cool. So it's just a little bit. It's not like I'm licking it. I'm not breathing it. So I'm not ingesting it, Donna. So it didn't hurt. It's not going to hurt me that way. And very much like the natural pieces of Covelite I used to have, I had 3 big natural pieces of Covelite. I would hold them and I would meditate with them. And, I was touching them, but it's not like I was licking it or cutting it and putting it in the air.
Right.
I would not do with it. But just to sit it, if it was just sitting I was never afraid of that. And I knew it had arsenic in it, but it's not like I was eating the arsenic, unlike eating the Moldavites. Yeah. So it wouldn't hurt you. And hopefully that you understand. And I've clarified that for you, Donna.
It's a good point real quick. I've had customers come in and they'll get it tumbled and they're like, "Oh, I think I can drill and make a bead." And I'm like, "Please don't." Because unless you know the chemical makeup of the stone, you can and will, depending on the stone, poison yourself. Malachite is another one that when it is cut underwater because of it's not arsenic in malachite. What is it? But
there's a lot of copper, but there is something in it.
You will bleed from your nose, your ears, your eyes. It's because it is so sharp and in that healing. So it's like, please do not cut your stones yourself unless you are a trained lapidary, gemologist, like what you're doing. If you need a stone in a type of bead or in a cap, just go find it pre-done for you. Please and thank you. And that's another reason why quit putting your stones in all the water. Do like Maria said, put them in, one glass container inside of another. And if you don't, then put your glass pitcher in the refrigerator and line your stones up around it, touching the glass overnight. It's better than not at all. But
Yeah.
stop putting your stones in your water.
The other
And
thing
shoving
too is,
them up body orifices.
oh
Stop
God.
that too. Do a little side tangent of what not to do with crystal healing.
Yes, you don't want to do that. You don't. You don't. And you don't know in the tumbled stones or the cut stones, you don't know what oil base they've used to get it in that condition. You don't know what's touched it, and you don't. Not all stones like water. You don't want to put halite. You want to put sulfur in water because then you won't have one. I mean, they'll melt. They'll melt. I mean, I had this client buy this beautiful, beautiful halite. It was a beautiful pink, big cluster of halite. And she calls me up 3 months later and she said, I ran it underwater to dust it. And that's like gone. It melted it a little bit. I was like, whoops. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. And I didn't think to tell her not to put it into water, because sometimes you don't think of things like that.
Yeah.
So
all of the knowledge that goes behind the stones, like being the caretaker, it's almost impossible to know everything about every little thing and like to divulge that information for every customer, for every piece of stone that they are buying, from your table, from our store. It's just, it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
And
sometimes you're so busy that
Mhm.
it's not anything that's right there to tell them, unless it's like, don't cut that Covelite.
Right. I mean, unless they're like, oh, I'm going to go cut this. Like, you don't think to say like, no, don't. It's like, enjoy your
Right.
Covelite, keep it in your pocket if you're going through, any, treatment, or you suspect that you've got a reoccurrence, and, that's usually what we're talking about. I
Right.
don't think I've ever had to say like, yeah, don't go home and cut or drill that,
Yeah.
it's usually malachite people want. And I'm like, why? And don't, like, just don't.
God,
I
find
used to-
somebody that's already done it for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because we don't want you to
Safely.
die. Yeah.
You don't need to be a Halloween movie before Halloween because you're out there cutting stuff you shouldn't be. Um, but yeah, Covelite is one of my favorite stones. I, for the longest time, kept a piece on me, and I'm like, how funny. This last reoccurrence I had, I was not keeping probably a good year and a half, since I kept a piece on me all the time.
Interesting.
There's usually like 8 to 10 on my mesa at any given time that just sit there, charge, absorbs the energy. And when I am told to give a piece to somebody who, has a cancer, then that's when a piece will get taken off and like gifted. But in the meantime, they sit there, just kind of waiting to be gifted out to whoever needs it. And I think that was also part of my aggravation with that customer. It was like, of course I don't have one on me to be like, you know what, you need it. Never mind your son. Whoops, there goes my gaming computer. Here's just a small piece to get you started.
Oh, that's well, we had, and I didn't think about it because it was actually Eric was working with her more diligently. I think I may have dropped in. Eric said something about something, and I said something to her, and then turned away. But I didn't think about that. We have small tumbled at the table. It's the only tumbled. It's the only tumbled. I don't think when our tumbled business was bought, I don't think I think that's the only stone that I did not release with that sale, because it's very hard to get. And because of my history, I wanted to be able to give it. And I didn't even think we could have gifted that. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll show up here.
But and the lighting isn't doing it justice. It is a metallic blue color.
Beautiful, deep metallic, like sky, like night sky, gorgeous.
Yes. Sometimes you'll have the white, sediment in there. Like this piece, I think, has a little bit, like right there. And
Mhm.
pyrite will run through it as well. So it's a heavier stone because of that makeup, but it is generally a metallic blue color. So it's really pretty. But it is
They are beautiful.
heavier. So us ladies who maybe carry, stones in our bras, like, know that it may fall out on you because of the heaviness of it. Might
Yeah.
pop out. Um, but
But you have some cabs that they can actually get
Mhm.
set if they wanted to wear it in jewelry.
Yes. So I did, snag some calves from Maria Celeste. So not only you can have some of Maria's collection through Goddess Elite.
True Goddess Elite.
Yes.
Yes.
And they are
Need to bring you the
so
rest of it. I
uh,
was thinking about that this afternoon. I was like, why didn't I just drop all the rest of it off at her store?
but that's okay. It gives me a reason to take a few days off, come visit, and they're
Yeah.
like, looking for an excuse to not work. Um, but it is one of my favorites, Covelite. Covelite, definitely. Tanzanite is
Yeah.
another one of my favorites. We can talk about that on another one.
Yeah. I love Tanzanite. Yeah.
Now, we also grabbed from you some really, really pretty optical quartz. Now, keep in mind, our friends who are watching, the optical quartz spheres that I have from Maria are not that big.
They're
Those are
not
gorgeous.
this big. They're
No.
smaller. They're about the size of a quarter.
Mhm.
But they're nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, yes,
Dirt.
these are, I did have some of these. And I, d- I don't keep many of my stones, but these, it took us 2 years to,
Negotiate the
get the,
contract, right?
yeah, to negotiate this deal. Yeah. But it's really cool. And Melissa has some beautiful, beautiful, the
Mhm.
small ones. They're really very sweet. But if there are some people that want pure optical quartz, and one of them was the United States government in World War II, and they stockpiled tons of optical quartz. And at the end of World War II, they learned how to make quartz so that they didn't need the natural quartz. And so this family in California bought, and there's actually a pamphlet and that tells the whole story of the release of the government decommissioned it, and and I sold it, but I had a piece that actually had an inventory number on it. There was a couple of pieces I bought, rough pieces that actually had inventory numbers on it, and it was like, this is really cool. I had two pieces with inventory, and I have one piece that doesn't have the inventory on it. And they're out there somewhere. Somebody has them. So um, they sent it out to California. And when they were loading up the truck, as they got to the bottom layer, they're like, oh, it was so heavy, it pushed down 2 feet of additional
Mm.
quartz into the ground that nobody knew was there because there was such a huge stockpile. And so the family in California they did other stuff with it, but they sent some of it to Japan, which that's just my crazy sense of humor. I'm thinking that's really funny because World War II with Japan, but they sent it to Japan, and a famous cutter cut these. And optical quartz, there is a whole class of people that the only thing they want is optical quartz because of the ability to move energy through the clear. Now, neither of these, I kept two that weren't clear just because I thought there people out there want the clear ones and release those. And these have inclusions in them. They're cool inclusions. This one has a little veil in it, and this one, there's a little inclusion in the inside, which causes it to have a rainbow. And rainbows are really special to me. They come from the United States. This original material was collected and was used in radios for our troops. And now you get to hold a piece of government history that's beautifully, beautifully cut. I mean, he was a world-renowned cutter. And somewhere on a box is his name. And I hope that I still have that box somewhere. And if I have I need to find that name for you, Melissa, so that you can have his name.
Now, Maria, I know you use really clear quartz in some of your pranic healing. So,
Mhm.
because that clearness helps move energy
Mhm.
unneeded,
Yeah.
if you're doing healing
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Uh,
And we try to get it as clear as possible. Because no crystals is perfect. And if you can get one that's really clear, um, it really helps to move the energy because it absorbs the energy, not just it's just the whole entire surroundings. And you can use it that way. Yeah.
Thank you for informing me of that because for those of you who knew Naisha Asian, she and I were talking at the time that we were doing this, and she's like, there is a whole class of people that will only use optical quartz. And thank you for helping me understand more depth, Maria, of why
Mm-hmm.
uh, the magic of the optical quartz. So I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that.
yeah, and I mean,
Yeah. Then that's the only reason. I mean, I do work with the rose. I have a rose wand. I have also an amethyst, but the clear crystal one, and that's hard to find. It's hard to you cannot. I would love to find a real, just completely through and through, but you if you look close to some of my ones, you will see a little bit of the inside. There's a little bit of but that's the nature of a true quartz, you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
no, I know Maria Celeste, you had on your table, and it wasn't until I was like 3/4 of the way to Mansfield where I went, ah, you had Vogels that were about that
Oh
big.
my God, I almost sent the vocals with you to Donna. I was like, and then I totally forgot. She left, and I was like, I wanted to give Donna these vocals to drop off at your. Yes, those are pretty clear.
Yeah.
Those are pretty clear.
Like everyone I picked up, just they did not have like glaring inclusions in them. Like
Yeah,
they were pretty, 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 pretty.
that material is from near His Holiness's temple in India, and those were cut
Mm-hmm.
in. Um, I should just put them in the mail to you, Melissa, so that you can have them in your shop because they're. I bought everything he had, and I don't know. I think maybe he had 30 of them. He didn't have very many, um,
Mhm.
and I think I have 9. I might have 18. I don't know, maybe
How
18
big
left.
of there? How big?
They're
Is it that big?
probably an inch and a half.
Like
They're
thick.
smaller than the one that
Save
I.
me one,
Hold on,
Melissa, when you get it.
hold on. Yeah, it's smaller than the
They're
one that
hard
I
to find.
wear. Oh, so I'll tell you the backstory about why I even carry small Vogels. And Melissa, I don't know that I'll have to, if somewhere it's on this computer. So I've always, I'm holding a Vogel while I'm talking to you. This just has to be an argon Vogel, but I love Vogels. And Mr. Vogel worked for IBM in the large mainframes, and he designed this. IBM uses these to move their energy through their computers. So us in this part of the world went, if it's moving energy through the computers, it's moving data through the computers very quickly, what is it going to do to us? So back in
Mm-hmm.
the 90s, back in maybe the 80s, um, Vogels became very popular in the metaphysical world because of their ability, the male and female ends, depending on how you wanted to move the energy, it would either expand it or contract it, but it moves it very quickly. So Vogels became a beautiful thing. And Mr. Vogel, then it got to be different sizes of how many, I mean, it was very scientific as it was being used in IBM computers. And so Mr. Vogel passed away. And most of the Vogels that you see, the Vogels that, I mean, they're big and they're expensive.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
They're exquisite. And they're like
Mm-hmm.
thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I can tell you exactly. It was at a Universal Light Expo with Kenny Harsh, and I had to go see Kenny, and he was in the other building, or they were two buildings were attached. So I had to go quickly to go see him. And as I'm going by, I went by DJ's booth, and he had a little tiny Vogel. And it's the first time I saw a small one, and I went, "Oh, I'll be back." And that was and at the end of the show, I went, DJ, he said, I sold it. And I'm like, oh, because, and I said, you have anyone? He goes, no. And he's like, I don't. And I don't even know why I had that one. So that year Eric's like, Maria, come here. I found you the Vogels. And we met Ray Pinto. And Ray Pinto always wears glasses because he doesn't want you to look in his eyes. But Ray Pinto, Mr. Vogel came to Ray Pinto in a dream. And he knew Mr. Vogel's brother. And he said, go to my brother. This is in a dream. Go to my brother and he's going to teach you how to make my Vogels. So Ray Pinto osmosisly made Vogels. And Eric's like, come here, Maria. He's got Vogels. So I go in and I'm looking at the Vogels and he's got it in different sections. And I turn around and I come and I'm like, oh my God, there's the little Vogels. And I'm like, well, how many do I want? And I'm like, I want all of these. And Eric like looked at me and goes, what? He goes, I want all of them. Literally, Ray Pinto, Eric and I sat for I don't know how long on his bed, wrapping up in each individual Vogel. And it was like 133 of them. And Eric goes, what are you going to do with 130? I said, I don't know, but I need all of them. So, and he's like, you're having a reading with Naisha. Can you ask her why you bought 133 Vogels? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And it just so happened I was meeting with her that afternoon. So I said, Naisha, I have 133 Vogels and I really don't know that much about them, but I know that I was supposed to buy all of these. And she's like, oh, she said, you're going to channel information that is going to change the way in which people use Vogels. It's going to add to the way people use Vogels. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But so, because I do that work too, right? And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever you say. But in that reading, she also told me something. And then when I got back to the hotel room, the very first email I opened up was exactly what she told me was going to happen. And it was she said, you're going to start teaching. And somebody had literally asked me to start teaching. And I went, oh, maybe I need to pay attention to what she's saying about the Vogels. That's really what happened. I went, oh, Eric, I need to keep one of these out because we were packing everything up to go ship. And it was like, and I wouldn't be able to, it would be probably a month before I would be, by the time it got to me and with my work and getting it, I'm like, I need to keep one of these out. And so I started meditating with it. And I have a 28-day meditation that explains about the DNA. So a couple of days later, I'm in this booth and I overheard this one woman say to the vendor, oh, I bought some of those last year and they really fell off the table. And I'm like, what's she talking about? And they were cages. And Spirit's like, get 200. I'm like, I don't want 200 of those. Get 200. No, get 200. So I said, I'll take 100 of those. I get home and, this meditation, this channeling is going on and you think you're crazy, but anyway. So when I finally get to unloading where the Vogels are, I literally dropped in my chair. Actually, it was onto the warehouse floor and went, oh my God, I am so sorry. You told me to buy 200. That cage is the DNA that's going to be symbolic of activating it because you're supposed to wear them for 28 days. And that's how you can wear it. And that represents the DNA because what the Vogel does when you wear it through this channel is it activates. And we have 12 strands, but 6 of them are broken. And I hope that I remember all this right. 6 of them are broken. But when you wear the Vogels, which is why I keep it on my bedstand, and I do wear them, that it repairs your DNA and your RNA. Because really, folks, we don't pick stones. They pick us. They pick us. They know where they want to go. And they know how they want to work. And they like to work. Don't keep them in boxes. You don't have to know how to use them. Just put them in your environment. They will do what they need to do just by sitting. Truly, truly, truly. You don't need what's in my head. You don't need what's in Maria's head. You don't need what's in Melissa's head. You just need to know this stone wants to go home with you and do its thing. That's all you need to know, and honor it and love it and talk to it like a friend and get to know it. And the more you get to know it, the more it's going to show you what it can do. And you can read all the books you want, but that crystal may have a specific purpose. It's working with you, and no book is going to tell you that. So just because azurite is a great stone to use to help with knee issues and joint issues, it doesn't mean it's not going to help you speak your voice, which it will because it's a blue stone. But a lot of people buy it because of the copper base to help move the energy, but it also helps move your voice so that you speak your voice. So you just, if a stone calls to you, honor it, and then ask it, what do I need to know? And why have you come in my life, and help me understand what it is that you want me to do? And you don't want to put you can use a whole pocket full of stones. I have no trouble with that. But if you want to know what one specific stone is doing, you need to work with it individually rather than a whole bunch of stones.
Well, I think we've rambled enough for our friends here. We got way off topic from Moldavite, Covelite, and Optical. Throwing in so much other information, but that's fun. And we'll have to see, Maria, when you have time to relax and when you might want to join us again on some different stones.
Sure. Absolutely. I love being with you guys. Yeah. I mean, it's, I have all this information up here. And so before I lose it, it needs to be shared. So I can share it with you.
Thank you for joining us. And it's always
You're
fun.
welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. And thank you to all the people in Cleveland for all the years that you've supported us. And we are truly, truly very grateful. And thank you. And thank you, Melissa, for all you have been for me too. So thank you.
No, thank you. You and we have been through a lot together, spiritually, friendship wise, medically. I love you to death, and I'm always happy when we can spend time together.
Thank you.
Well, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for joining, and we
thank you.
Catch us for the next Healer's Corner. Bye, guys.
Bye.